Hey YouTube, Gibson has a new collection of guitars, original and modern, and we're going to argue about it. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, this is Chris McKee.
This is Cooper Greenberg.
We are with Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas, and you can find us online at alamomusic.com. So, how are you doing, Cooper?
I'm doing all right, man.
We got to review guitars today. Life is good. It's a tough job, but we get to do it.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, it might as well be us. So we have two Lester Paulinos here, and they are representing two different lines of Gibson's lineup of electric guitars for 2019. So there's been a lot of changes. We've talked about this with some of the other videos that we've done, where Gibson has new leadership, and they've taken and kind of thrown out their previous lineup and come up with two decidedly different ways of, or models of guitars, really. Families, collections is what they call it, so we should just call it that. The original and the modern. So this is original. No, that's original.
No. Yeah.
And this is modern. And we're going to review these guitars for you. We're going to tell you about the specs, but we're also going to kind of put that in context with what Gibson is hoping to kind of accomplish and how these are being made and marketed to you, the guitar buying public. So we'll start with the one that you've got. Yeah. So what is that?
This is a Les Paul Special in TV yellow. Couple P90s in there. Got a wraparound bridge, mahogany slab board, and pretty no frills. Pretty classic.
Pretty like just simply cut.
Simply cut.
It's like there's no bevel. There's no carved top.
No.
There's just a slab of wood and some electric guitar pickups and controls and strings. It's wood and steel and not much else. There's another guitar from the 50s in a similar color that's kind of like that.
Yeah.
The cutting board, I like to call it,
Yes,
the Telecaster, right? So the Special's been around since 58, off and on. They've done different versions and whatnot, but it was made as a student guitar, kind of a stripped down Les Paul. So that's what it is. There's no binding, there's no carved top. It's got the P90s and the wraparound bridge, which works fine if you leave 10s on it. And you can still intonate it because it's got these little set screws. So it is intonatable, just not by individual strings. So if you want to do some weird string gauge, you should probably look elsewhere. Or just be cool playing out of tune, Jimi Hendrix was. So TV yellow, we talked about it. So we actually shot this and then we had to reshoot it. But Cooper now knows, and he didn't know before, why is it called TV yellow?
It's called TV yellow because it showed up well on a black and white television.
Yeah, that's right. Yellow looks white, I guess, or
Yeah.
the proper white on black and white TV. So that's why it's called TV yellow. And we were talking about it's a similar yellow to the Telecaster, which is also named for television.
Television.
I mean, that was what was hip, kids, back in the 50s.
And
television was all brand new.
Now it just looks good because it's a good color.
If it was made now, it'd be like streaming red or something.
I think it's streaming
Netflix
red.
red.
Yeah, Netflix red.
So that's what it is, and it's part of the original collection. So the original collection is a rearward, vintage-looking line of guitars from Gibson. In the Les Pauls, they've got 50s and 60s Les Paul standards, and they've got the specials, and they are going to that era of guitars, but this isn't trying to be a 58.
Yeah.
It's a 50s, so it's got a 50s neck carve.
Fat 50s.
Yeah. And it's comfortable. I mean, I don't think it's... Let me put this out there for you guys. There's a lot of people that call on a regular basis and say, I want a thin neck. If you haven't played the guitar, you should try it. Because sometimes what we say is a fat neck just means it's not like wizard thin like an Ibanez where there's a fretboard and not much else.
And truly, I do love, and I've said it before in videos, I love a fat neck, and this being referred to as a fat 50s neck does not necessarily mean that it's this big old honking neck. I mean, it's still very comfortable, pretty fast neck, and it's not overly chunky.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it depends upon the player. I had the same notion that a lot of other people have, that thinner was better for a long time, and I've grown to appreciate thicker necks. More and more of my electric guitars have a thick but comfortable neck that fits in the hand well, and that's what it's really about, is this feel in the palm of your hand, how your thumb wraps over if you play that way and so forth. And I'm used to a little bit more wood in my hand at this point. So
hey, okay, so I think that's an interesting segue to talk about how that neck works.
So because this is like the best of both worlds. So this is the modern, right? And it's part of the modern collection, but it's called the Les Paul Modern. So tell us about what's in this.
So those are Burstbucker pickups.
Burstbucker
Pro.
Pros, yeah.
Burstbucker Pro pickups. It's got coil tap knobs down there, so you can push and pull and get a whole mess of possibilities in your tone, which I think you can maybe expand upon a little bit. And beforehand, we were trying to count how many combinations.
Like 16, I think.
It's really not worth even trying because it's endless, with each one being able to contour with the knobs. I mean, insane capabilities of what you can do.
Cool. Talk about the neck.
Oh yeah, the neck, it's a compound radius neck, but also you can explain, I don't know how to
It's asymmetrical,
articulate,
right? Like my face. One side is thinner than the other. So the treble side of the neck is thinner than the bass side of the neck, which is kind of how your hand fits on the guitar anyway. So it's made, instead of being this kind of perfect curve, it's made to fit to the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
And then, of course, like you said, the fretboard is a beautiful ebony fingerboard with a compound radius on the frets.
Yeah.
So it's rounder up here where you're playing the chords, and it flattens out as you go up for the schwiddly area.
Yeah.
And you can bend, and it's not going to it's not going to fret out even with low action. And then on the back of it, the heel is really comfortable.
Yeah.
So they've done this. This is kind of the access carve that Alex Lifeson's had on his signature model for years.
Yeah.
Of course, he has a Floyd Rose as well. And then you've got locking tuners. This is the modern guitar. So this is what we were talking about earlier. It's kind of Gibson taking a Les Paul and massaging it into the 21st century guitar.
Yeah.
And the flexibility, but you have comfort. You have flexibility, you have modern looks. This is a beautiful graphite color, and it's kind of menacing looking. You can get it in pelham blue or red, kind of with this metal flake. But you've got all these pickup combinations, and we'll go through these as part of the playing demo. But you've got your typical three-way toggle switch, so you can have either your neck rhythm pickup, or both, or your bridge treble pickup, or as some people put up there, Ginger and Marianne. So you've got warmer sound here, a biting lead sound here, and the in-between. But what you have with the controls here is the ability to coil tap either one. So you can have just the neck, just the bridge. You can have both with one in coil tap or the other in coil tap or both in coil tap. The real secret sauce, I think, is here.
Yeah.
And we've been having a lot of fun with this because when you pull the rhythm tone control out, and Gibson's done this for a number of years on some of the more modern Les Pauls, you get an out-of-phase option, which is what we call the Peter Green sound.
Quacky.
Yeah, it's a quacky, thinner sound. It's beautiful. It's really musical. And if the legend is correct, Peter Green's guitar sounded like that because it was wired incorrectly at the Gibson factory. So happy accidents happen.
Yeah.
And then the tone push-pull on the bridge pickup basically is a blow switch. It's a bypass. So no matter what you have set up here, if you pull that, it's the bridge pickup straight out, bypassing the pots. And even in the down position on a humbucker mode, this sounds a little different. It kind of opens up, right?
Yeah, totally.
So very fast playing guitar, extremely versatile guitar. There's 16 options, but honestly, I think if someone buys this guitar, they're not going to be cycling through 16 options. What they're going to do is find
the perfect tone.
What I love on this is one of these, so like the neck and single coil, the bridge and humbucker, pulled up out of phase with the little bit of the tone on the bridge rolled off. It's a killer sound.
Yeah.
So you're going to find one of those sounds that you otherwise wouldn't be able to get, and you're just going to fall in love with it. So very different guitars to represent very different lines. So Gibson is now making something for you who want a Les Paul to be a Les Paul just like Les Paul had his Les Paul. And then if you want something that is a Les Paul in feel and look and in sound, but offers you more flexibility, then that's what the modern collection and all of the instruments coming in, like the new figured carved top SGs and things like that are coming, that's what Gibson's trying to give you there. So something for everybody.
I think, for me as a player, I'm always kind of averse to the modern kind of fancy new kid on the block guitar, but something special to me about that one is it's a Les Paul. It's not anything overly futuristic or reaching. It's just giving you the capability to make more tones while still looking like you're playing a beautiful Les Paul. And Nothing that's really gonna throw you off that much, you know.
You know what I love about instruments like this that have a bunch of flexibility and you can try out different stuff is that you can try out different sounds and people fall in love with something they never would have even had the opportunity to listen to or play with before. Like that out of phase sound. Now, you know, people are wiring that into guitars because of how great it sounds. So we're gonna put these through their paces. You can hear what they sound like, and definitely different. You know, Les Paul with P90s and pretty straight away. Very versatile Les Paul modern. So let's check it out. All right, so you've heard of them both. Now, opinion. If you were buying one of these, which one would you get?
Honestly, I'd get this one just because I love it, and I've always kind of wanted a classic, very no frills Les Paul, but I would never turn that guitar down.
Yeah.
And you really can get just as good of a classic Les Paul tone out of that one. I mean, they're both great. It's just specific to the player. For me, it's this one, but it's very close. Yeah.
You're hedging your bet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
They're both great. I'll take either one if someone wants to give me one.
Totally. Yeah.
No, I tell you, from the get-go when they were introducing this, I really like the special. I've got a butterscotch telly, and it's kind of very simple like that. And so I really, really dig the special. And it's a lot less expensive. It's $15.99.
Yeah.
We're talking about that. I mean, that's Fender American Professional Strat Telly territory for a nitro-finished US-made Gibson.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of value there for a stripped-down guitar like that. That's really, pretty fantastic for what it is. I do really like this one as well, though, for the flexibility that we were talking about with the sounds. So, it would be a tough choice. This one is a lot more expensive. It's more expensive than the 50s or 60s Les Paul standards that are coming out. This is $27.99. But a lot of versatility. I mean, this is more than one guitar in it. And I kind of dig the graphite look. It's menacing. The carve of the heel. This is up there with, like, in the Fender vernacular, it'd be like what the Elites have with the curves and everything. And noiseless pickups and whatnot. So I think there's a lot of versatility here. It would probably come down to what I was playing.
Exactly.
So if I was playing in a band where I had to have a lot of flexibility, like a top 40 band or something, I would probably get this.
That you want, yeah.
Yeah, because you have single coil, you have humbucker sounds, you have kind of a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I think the thing about that one is even though it is pricier, it's a lot of the features that you might get from a boutique guitar that is way, way more than that. And it's got like such specialized, beautiful features that it's still, I mean, it's a Gibson, it's a US Gibson, it's what you want, but it is modern in the way that it's got features that people have been waiting for. And
Yeah, and coil tapping comes in handy. I have a PRS with coil taps. I think they were probably one of the early adopters of that. And it does come in handy. There's certain songs that you want to have that particular tonality for it. I'll tell you, my favorite part of the fact that Gibson is doing two different lines is this. That guitar does not have robotic tuners on it.
Exactly.
And the 50s does not have robotic tuners on it. And the 60s does not have robotic tuners on it. And actually my favorite part is this does not have robotic tuners on it. If you have that, it's great. I'm happy for you. I never bought into that technology, and most guitarists did not buy into that technology.
Yeah.
But I think that what that is a sign of is that for purists, there is an option. And for people who want a more modern approach, there's an option. And Gibson's not going to force something down the throat of the public.
Yeah.
Where the only option you have is a modern Les Paul.
Yeah. And that's kind of for the modern purist to a degree.
The modern purist, yes. Yeah. No robotic tuners. I think it's the modern features people want.
Yeah.
Not the modern features people don't want. So I think that's a good place to end. So let us know what you think. In fact, I'll put up a poll, okay? I'm going to put it right up there. So click on that and vote. Do you prefer what Gibson's doing in the modern collection? Do you prefer what they're doing with the original collection? Or do you not care? You just want to be left alone and eat your ham sandwich? I'm going to put that option up there as well. So if you're new here, make sure that you subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos, comment below. We want to hear from you. We're going to keep making these videos for you so that you can find the right guitar, because the best guitar in the entire world is
the one that you're playing right now.
That's right. So keep it up. We'll see you next time.